And joining us now, she's won a MAC Player of the Year. She's right up there in the nation leaders in home runs, RBIs, you name it. Jenna Golembiewski joining us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball. How you doing, Jenna?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Describe your season so far as a team.
Honestly, just unreal. I think that we have already done so much and there's still so much for us to do and we just keep working hard and everyone on this team works so hard all the time and it's just amazing to see like when it all comes together.
This offense is among the best in the country. Why is it as good as it is?
Um, I think that um we had a great assistant coach, Morgan Zirkle, who left and is now the coach at Marshall. But even with that, we got a great new assistant, Caitlin Nolan, and she didn't come in here like wanting to change things because she knew how great we were and like how good that we could be even with our past successes. I think we all just feed off of each other and we all work together like really hard and it's not like a one person needs the spotlight. We always want everyone else to succeed and I feel like just that constant like environment of it feeding off of each other like makes us so great.
Now, you and Karli have been putting on a show back and forth. I spoke to Karli earlier. She mentioned how she feels she feeds off of you, that you two sometimes feed off
Oh,
each other. Is
one,
that, you agree
one,
with that?
yes, 100%.
Des-
100%.
Describe that.
Um, being a year younger than Spade or Carly, she's someone that I look up to and I want to be like her. And every day it's like, I want to just be as good as she is. And I think she could say the same thing too, like how we just go back and forth. And it's actually kind of funny because with her hitting behind me, like if I get a good hit or I get a home run, I know Carly's going to hit one right behind me. So it's kind of cool that it's like both of us doing it at the same time. And it's never truly a competition. We just work together.
She talked about, too, the unheralded heroes, the ones that don't get a lot of the people in front of you. Yeah, but you've
Oh,
got a
yeah.
lot of depth. That's how you're able to get pitches. That's how she's able to get pitches. You have a lot of depth. Speak of the other players that maybe should get more notice, and people that you say, hey, these players, without them, I wouldn't be having the success I'm having individually.
Yeah. Our whole lineup is solid. Like every single one. We always talk about how you can't walk Allie because you're gonna get to me, and you can't walk me because you're gonna get to Spade, and then after Spade is Holly, and then it's just repeating itself. I think our whole lineup is a true threat. Allie Cummins, she has a great eye. She's awesome to have in front of me in the lineup. Um, Even Hadley Parisian, she will always find a way to put the ball in play. I remember like her first semester here, she's a freshman, when we would do like our scrimmages and like our live at bats and stuff, like she was always the one getting a hit. And it might not be the biggest hit, but she was always finding a way to get on base. And she's just phenomenal. And then Holly is just insane. She always comes up in clutch moments and it's just really cool to see like that there's not just one person doing it. It's all nine people in the lineup.
You mentioned, obviously, Karli is a year older than you. Do you remember the first time you met her?
Um, I can't say I remember the first time, but I was a little scared of her.
Why?
Not gonna lie. Just coming in, just knowing how good she is, like you never know, like how people take that role, and she like getting to know her like right away. Like she is so humble, like works so hard, and she's always wanting to do more, and she never thinks that she's like better than anyone else around her, which is like truly awesome. But yeah, no, she's a great friend to have.
I asked her this question. I'm going to ask you. How are you two different and similar as hitters?
As hitters, I wouldn't say we're much different, but like as players,
Mm-hmm.
she's louder than I am. She brings like this energy, and I am definitely more like laid back, I would like to say, and like relaxed. But we like kind of balance each other out in like the perfect way.
That makes sense. Yeah, that sounds about right. Similar answer. That's very good on that. You know, for those that don't know, you had to earn your spot. Like you didn't
Yes,
play
I
right
did.
away when you
Correct.
got here. Just take me through that journey of to getting to the point where you're at. Because I talked to Coach Kumar, and she's like, the thing is, you worked your tail off. You were a hard worker. You know, I think your first year you didn't play much, or maybe didn't
No,
start
I
much,
did not.
but you kept working at it. Just tell me through that process.
Yeah, so my freshman year, well, just in recruiting, I picked a school where like I wanted to play. And I thought that Miami was a great fit. They had a great program and I knew that if I worked hard enough, I could find myself a spot. And let's see, at the beginning of my freshman year, I had a couple starts. I remember like we played against Alabama and some of those bigger teams I was playing against. But then I think I just kinda got in my head a little bit, and my mental part wasn't really there, and that affected me on the field, and I knew that with how far we were in the season, that I wasn't gonna get the opportunity that I truly wanted, and, like, if I did get an opportunity, it would be, like, pinch running, and which I was completely fine with. But then when I went home after that year, um I just was upset with because it wasn't something the coaches did. It wasn't anything my team like, it was 100% me, and I knew that if I wanted to change that, I had to go to work. So, I worked my butt off all summer, and I wanted to use my sophomore season as an apology to myself, um, and yeah, then going into my sophomore season, I just kinda was like I trusted how much I worked, and it was like, "I'm gonna give it my all, and whatever happens, happens."
But I think it worked out well for you there,
Yes, it
winning MAC
did.
Player of the Year. There was there a turning point? Was there a turning point during that year where you realized I do belong here?
Um, I think I always knew that, I just needed to find it within myself, but I do remember against I believe it was Western Kentucky, um, they changed their pitchers and Coach 2K was like, "Where's Jenna? She can hit a drop ball." And like that was just like that switch for me, like seeing that she had that much confidence. And I think that that's where like my successes kind of like took off. So I would say that would be like my turning point of the season. But
Pretty good. Do you
yeah.
remember when you found out you won MAC Player of the Year?
Yeah, so funny story actually. So 2K texted me because she wanted to tell me in person. Um, she texted me saying like, "Oh, like, are you at the dorms? Like, I need to talk to you." And immediately I thought I was in trouble. Like, I thought of, like I was like, "What did I do?" Like, and I was just thinking about I'm like, I don't think I've done anything wrong," and all this stuff, and she texted me, she's like, "Hey, I'm here, like, come outside." And I was like, "I have no idea what she could say to me right now," and I just kind of prepared myself for the worst, and then I went out to her car and she told me, and I just kind of was like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "How?" And she was like, "All the coaches, like, voted for you," or however that works, but yeah, that was I will never forget that moment because I thought I was in trouble.
I think we all do, right? When you first get like,
Yeah,
right now, everybody's always that's our worst fears. We're always thinking like, what's going on here? What's wrong? Something
yeah,
bad. So you
yeah.
didn't see that coming, winning Player of the
Oh,
Year.
not at all. I honestly, like, towards the end of the year, I was thinking about it, I was like, I've had a pretty good season." I'm like, maybe I'll get, like, 2nd team." Like,
Wow.
that's what I that's that was my,
Did you think
thinking.
like Karli would win it or somebody else would win it? Is that why you just never
Yeah.
crossed your mind? Okay.
Yeah. I did not that was the last thing I expected.
You earned it on that. What you mentioned why you went to Miami, that
Yes.
opportunity. What got you into playing softball growing up?
So both of my parents were college athletes. I have a brother who's 3 years older than me. He plays baseball at University of Illinois Springfield, but all our lives we were just involved in sports. Both my brother and I were 3 sport athletes in high school. I think we played like every sport in grade school that we could. Um but also like even before school, I just remember like being in the backyard with my brother and his friends. Like my dad, he would cut our grass into like a little baseball field and we called it G Field, and all of like the neighborhood kids would come over, and like I was playing with guys that were 3, 4, 5 years older than me. Just some like backyard wiffle ball and stuff. But yeah, so I think that's kind of where it started, and I saw that my brother loved it so much and I wanted to be just like him.
That makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Did you have any favorite athletes growing up?
Jenny Finch was
Man,
always my favorite.
everybody loves Jenny
Yeah,
Finch.
she was the woman. She still is the woman.
Well, that's what blows me away, though. Like she, when she played, that was before we were both a little younger back in the day. I mean,
Yeah.
but she still makes an impact today.
Yeah, Jenny Finch and Jen Schroe, because I used to be a
Yeah,
catcher, so I would watch all of her videos and I would follow her.
I didn't know you were a catcher. Tell me about that. You were a catcher before?
Yes, I was catching. I think I started 12U
Okay.
to 14U, and then I'll still do it if they need me. Like I'll catch a bullpen every once in a while here.
How many positions could you play?
Um, Probably just outfield.
Okay, all right.
Outfield, if they really needed me to catch, I would do it.
Okay, just want to
Yeah.
verify. You never know. Oops. That's very fair. What? Tell me a little bit. You mentioned your family played sports.
Yes.
How influential was that as far as the influence on you as an athlete preparing? Because obviously you've got classes, but you also have the playing softball. How do you balance that out? I would imagine the family helped you in that.
Yeah. So, just having my brother in front of me was a really good tool just to know what to do and what not to do. Seeing him in his first couple of years in college, like really like made me set out to be like, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm not gonna do, this is how I'm gonna handle this is how I'm not. So like just having him in front of me was huge. My dad also is also really good giving me tips and everything. But yeah, family is a huge part of how I am and everything. So
Let's take you to this year in that game at Oklahoma, which you all decided to make some noise in that game because
yeah, we did.
that became viral. That game, everybody was talking about that game. Now you've had time to reflect on it. I asked Karli the same thing. What you reflect on that game? What comes to your mind?
There's nothing that can top that, honestly, as of right now. Just that environment was amazing. Like there was a couple times where like I just found myself in the outfield just looking around. I'm like, no one's ever gonna be able to take this game away from me. Um, no, it was just like I literally have goosebumps right now just just thinking about it. It was awesome.
Did y'all have a chip on your shoulder? Because I think going in, a lot of people are like, "Oh, they're just celebrating the stadium. This feels like a court." But you all made it like, "No, no, no. This is not like a stadium celebration. We're going to play
Oh,
a game here, and
yeah. Well,
you got them on the ropes."
yeah, we always I feel like we play better when we're seen as the underdogs, and that's how we went in, like, almost kinda like we have nothing to lose, like, let's just show out, show the world what we got. I feel like Miami softball hasn't necessarily gotten, the credit they deserve in the past, and I think this was a time for us to, like, show the world who we really are. 'Cause not many
Yeah.
people know, like, who Miami softball is, but they do now.
Oh, they do. Trust me. Everybody on Viral was talking about it, about you and the performance. Karli hitting that first home run in the stadium.
Yeah,
Do you remember that when she hit that?
that was crazy.
That was what you and it. I mean, there was like what 9 home runs combined in that game. Did
Something
you
like
hit one?
that.
If I remember,
Yeah, I did, my last at bat.
tell me about that at bat.
Um, that at bat so my previous at bats before that, I didn't do too well. I think I was 0 for at the time, and I think just being in that environment, I kinda put a little bit more stress on myself than I should have, and that last at bat, I was I just kinda, like, took a deep breath, I refocused myself, and I'm like, "You're playing softball, like, don't make it bigger than what it has to be. See ball, hit ball," and went on from there.
Felt good though, right? Did you know right away?
Oh, yeah, I knew right away.
I figured you did. I figured you did. It's a nice park. Everybody said it was a nice park to hit at. Uh,
Yeah.
the thing, and I talked to Karli about this and Coach Kumar. Everybody remembers that game. Obviously, it was a heartbreaking loss, but I mean, you earned a ton of respect. But what people may forget is you had to play 30 minutes after that game ended
Yes.
next to in the old stadium against a
Yes.
talented Louisiana team, and you
Yeah,
beat Louisiana in a
we
slugfest.
did.
How that? I mean, what was that game like?
That was insane. It was kind of crazy going from that environment to, or like the first environment of the Oklahoma game to that one, and it kind of just like honestly like relaxed us a little bit. Like it wasn't so like intense and have like a billion eyes staring at you. And we were like, well, we just played the way we did against Oklahoma. Like we if we do that against anyone, we're gonna put on a show. So
It felt like your team, yeah, that was a turning point, wasn't it? Like your team's been a different team since then. That gave you a lot of confidence coming out of that weekend
yes.
because then you would go on to Tulsa, you ruled a good Tulsa team, and off you ran a run there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, a lot has been made. My colleague Graham Hayes keeps tweeting about every time you or Karli hit a home run and where you both stacked up. Do you both even like mention it? Do you bring it up? Is it just you laugh about it? No mention, no mention.
No
No,
mention.
I love
I don't
that.
even I honestly don't even know how many we're at right now, if I'm being
As we
honest.
record this, you're both at 22.
Okay, that's good enough.
Hopefully more. Yeah, well, just saying, it's fun. What are you two like? What you're both friends. So I
Yes.
would imagine, do you pick her brain on stuff that do you feed from that standpoint, from a communication standpoint, or like, hey, I saw this from a picture. Like, what is that like when you two? Because you mentioned earlier, you both have talked about how you feed off each other.
Yeah.
But it is amazing, like that you both can be on this torrid pace with runners on and everything like that. You both help each other. You're probably getting pitches because of her hitting behind you, vice versa, right? So
Right.
talk about that teamwork that you two have. That's really one of the best combos in the country.
Yeah, so we're always feeding off of each other, a lot of times we don't really necessarily get to talk to each other from at bat to at bat because either I'm on base or she's on base or
It's a good problem.
whatever it
It's a good
is.
problem. Yeah, it's a good problem.
But definitely in the dugout. But even just like all of us, like we always are talking about the pitcher. We always like they'll throw to me like similar how they will throw to Spade and like vice versa. So a lot of times like we'll see like the same pitches. So like just knowing that like I mean for her like what I see like she's probably going to see too.
I'm always curious about this. I asked her about this, and she said you both don't have a nickname. Like I feel like you two need to come up with a nickname. Like a combo. Like way back in the day when McGuire and Canseco were like hitting home runs, they were like the Bash Brothers or something. I feel there's an opportunity here
Yeah,
that could
right?
happen, right? What's the one thing that just blows you away of what Karli does?
How humble she is while she does it. And she's always wanting to get better. And she's always wanting to do more. And it like blows my mind because sometimes I'm like, do you even realize like what you've done already? And like I'm like, give yourself some credit, man. Like
Yeah,
but no, she is great to be around and like she doesn't act like she's the best, if that makes sense.
it's going to be strange for you. You're going to miss her like a year from now when she's not there. Like
100%.
like I covered two pitchers, Mackenzie Otis and Shelby Turnier. They were both All-American caliber pitchers. They were 1-2 in the country in 2015 at ERA at UCF. And I remember Shelby was in tears on senior day because
Oh
Mackenzie
yeah.
was senior day. She was a year younger like you were. And she was in tears. She wore the 24 on her face, and she said, like, that's like a sister to me. I
Yeah.
get a sense in talking to both of you, you both are similar in that way. Is that accurate?
Yes. Senior day is gonna be interesting. I think a lot of us are gonna be like, "Holy moly, like, there's no way this is happening."
I know. Well, we still got time. We got time between now
Yes.
and then. Last year, obviously, the program's been on a high, making three straight NCAA's, three straight MAC championships. But last year, you got to that regional final in Evanston. You beat Kentucky to get there. Take me through that Evanston regional.
Um, we always go in to our regional and our postseason wanting to do something that Miami softball has never done before. Um, and I think, like, going back, like, to, like, the Oklahoma game, like, if we play Miami softball, like, we're gonna go pretty far. Um, Bree Pratt was amazing during those games. It was awesome to have her in the mound. No, but if we just didn't, we just can't overcomplicate it too much. So if we just have to, we can't really think about it like, oh my gosh, this is regionals, this is postseason. Like it's just another game for us, and we just have to do what we know to do.
Describe playing for Coach Kumar.
She's awesome. Um, I feel like over the 3 years I've been here, her and I have figured out a way for us to like fit together, and it's worked so much. And I I could never have a better coach than her, if I'm being honest. Like she truly cares about her players. She always wants the best for us, and she's willing to work with every single person on this roster. Um, we are so lucky to have a coach like her, and I like. There's no other words to put it.
That's fantastic. You've
Yeah.
got a lot of softball left in you, but have you thought about what your future is as far as do you want to play professionally after you graduate? Do you want to coach? What do you want to do post softball?
Um, yeah, I thought about that. I think playing professionally would be the ultimate goal. That is something that I've thought about and talked to my dad about. But even like coaching would be great. Just staying around it as much as possible. I don't really want to grow up. I don't want to. I
Nobody
don't want
does.
to get out of softball. So if I could stay in it, I would take any chance I could.
Nobody ever does. That's why I get into broadcasting. I couldn't play a lick in sports, so I just decided to talk about it instead. So there's options for you out there. I'm just saying. You could coach, you could do commentary, you could do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on that. How would you describe your hitting philosophy? Are you the type that likes to watch a lot of film? Are you one that likes to have a lot of data, information known? Are you one that says just see ball, hit ball? What's your philosophy and style like?
See ball, hit ball. um, I do think that over my years, like I was thinking about this the other day, like my freshman year, I could not correct my swing. I could never tell what I was doing wrong. And now it's like I can watch film for a little bit and I know exactly what I'm doing wrong, how to fix it if I need to. And like just seeing that growth has just been like outstanding. But I usually am see ball, hit ball, especially during game time.
Well, you got to keep it simple, right? Because
Yes.
I mean, the sport is so mental, right? Like, there's so many
Yes.
things going through your mind. Sometimes keeping it simple, because I know some hitters like to have all that information and data, but some like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Carly was interested in how you would answer that because she wasn't sure what your answer would be. So, because she likes to watch a lot of film and things.
Yeah, I didn't really start doing that until this year, but just knowing like how much I've grown over my 3 years, like I just trusting it. See ball, hit ball. I've played softball my whole life. We all have, so we know how to play.
That's true. Do you have a favorite home run to this point in your career that stands out either because of the situation in the game or just because, man, you really hit that one far, like type?
um, there's been a couple. Obviously, the Oklahoma one. Um,
That was her
earlier,
favorite. Her home run against OU is also her favorite. I know they've
oh,
asked for the
no
ball.
doubt.
They've asked for the ball. They haven't gotten it. I understand that, but yours too. There, your home run there too.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think just because I went over before that, and it truly shows like it doesn't matter what you did in the other at bats. Earlier this season against Elon, I had bases loaded. That one felt amazing. And then another one again is probably one that I hit at Western Kentucky just because I know that that was what started everything for me.
That's awesome. That's tremendous. What do you want people to know about Miami's Ohio as a team, and then as well as your offense?
Watch out, honestly. um, yeah, there's no other way to put it. We're dangerous.
And then, how would you describe you as a player?
Um, oh man, I don't like talking about myself.
Neither did Carly, by the way. She didn't like talk. She liked talking more about you than her herself. So you two are very similar there.
I don't know. I think I'm more like like laid back and relaxed.
Yeah,
And obviously, I think that's when I do my best. But yeah, just staying chill.
You're more of the quiet, the
Yeah.
quiet like assassin there, right? You
Yeah.
snipe in there quietly, boom, get the job done. I
Yeah.
got you.
I know I don't really look like I can hit home runs, so just not being overly confident about that will really throw people off. So, like you said,
You think they underestimate you? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's good. All
Or
right.
at
Well,
the beginning, they underestimated me. I think I might have made a little bit of a name for myself now.
yeah, I think you're pretty good. Mac Player of the Year, one of the best players in the country, best hitters in the country. Yeah, I would say so. And obviously, your team is fantastic as the season goes on, and it's a team to watch. Good luck the rest of the way. I know you got a lot of softball. Enjoy it because it's always a fun sport. And more importantly, thanks for talking to us, taking a few minutes to talk to us. Like I said, I wanted to get the word out because you're having a great career to this point and a great player. You're a fun player to watch. And thank you for taking the time to talk to us. And good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.